Every year, millions of students wait for a single piece of paper to come off a printing press. For the candidate, that document represents years of preparation and thousands of hours of study. But the moment those questions are printed, they transform into an asset worth millions on the black market. The economic stakes driving this market are enormous. A single seat in a top medical college or a permanent government position guarantees financial security for decades, often lifting an entire family into a different economic bracket. Historically, wherever high-stakes examinations exist, the incentive to exploit them has followed. This is a global pattern, appearing wherever a single rank can dictate a career. Public perception of a paper leak often centers on the image of a lone student smuggling a phone or a cheat sheet into the examination hall, but the reality is far more complex. Extracting and distributing test materials at scale requires an organized, multi-layered criminal syndicate. To function successfully, these networks operate like an illicit corporate supply chain, with specialized departments handling each stage of the leak. The process begins with the insider. This is an individual with unauthorized physical or digital access, someone positioned within a secure facility. The tech facilitator then digitizes the material, moving the information through encrypted cloud channels so it can be distributed rapidly and invisibly. Next, the recruiter seeks out buyers, often using the legitimate coaching industry as cover to identify families willing to pay. Finally, the money mule handles the logistics of payment. They collect funds from candidates and ensure the proceeds are laundered through various accounts to hide the trail. While the vast majority of coaching institutes operate ethically, the sheer volume of capital flowing into the sector creates opportunities for bad actors to exploit the ecosystem. For the student, the exam is a test of merit. For the cartel, it is a business opportunity built on a high-demand, high-stakes commodity. 20 years ago, leaking a paper was a physical challenge involving locks and heavy logistics. In response, state institutions digitized their security. They introduced computer-based examinations, AI monitoring, and thousands of CCTV cameras to watch every exam hall in real time. They added biometric verification, fingerprints and facial scans, to prevent impersonators from sitting in the exam for a paying candidate. Criminal syndicates adapted by moving into the digital shadows. They now use disposable hardware and end-to-end encrypted messaging to move data without physical contact. The battle has evolved into a high-stakes cyber conflict, pitting state institutions against increasingly sophisticated fraud networks. When a leak is discovered and an exam is compromised, the criminals have usually already been paid. The actual cost is shifted entirely onto the candidates. The overwhelming majority of these students do not cheat. They have spent years preparing honestly, often at the expense of their social lives and mental health. A canceled exam forces families to absorb uncalculated costs: more debt for coaching, the price of repeat travel, lost job opportunities while waiting for a re-exam. Beyond the money, there is a psychological toll. It is the exhaustion of studying for an exam while no longer believing the outcome will be fair. Official reports focus on arrests and procedural reforms, but the true cost of this black market is the delay of millions of futures. Examination fraud is a global reality, affecting the Gaokao in China, entrance exams in South Korea, and standardized testing in the US. Since no country has eliminated fraud entirely, public confidence depends on the transparency and effectiveness of the institutional response. When leaks become frequent, education transforms into a volatile political issue. The focus shifts from academic achievement to a fundamental question of accountability. The ultimate danger is the erosion of trust. Repeated failures lead millions of people to expect corruption as the default state of society, completely weakening the very idea of merit. Can millions of students still believe in a fair system? To understand why the stakes became so high, we have to look at the economic pressure driving millions to fight for a single government job. That is coming up in our next episode.